totally and brutally honest here. Sean Corbin makes Valery Brudov look like Ivan Drago. It's as simple as that. He's beat what's in front of him tonight. He faces me. He's going to visit mental demons again. And let's get something straight. Come to me, mate. You come to me. Next time, ain't no judge is going to be needed. I'm going to do worse than Kovalev. I am going to do worse than Kovalev.
On Saturday night, mate, you better hold it together. I'm going to smash it near you to pieces, mate. I'm going to hit him. When he gets in the ring and we get 10-ounce gloves on, I'm going to smash his head to bits. I'm going to do it November the 30th against all odds. No matter what people say, the journalists write what you want. All as I'll say is tune back in and then look at me on December the 1st when I am world champion. It's as simple as that. I'm willing to die in that ring. It's as simple as that. I am willing to die. I'm willing to die, Zachary. Is he?
You're fucking right. Let's go classic. Dempsey. Here we are, Paul.
And we are all set very shortly now for our top of the bill here tonight at the BT Sports studio. It is for the famous and historic British middleweight title. And before we get to talk about our main fight here, David, I think it is perhaps appropriate tonight that we just pause to mark Black History Month, most of all. And we discussed it today, and we thought it was actually right that we acknowledge that properly. And there's nobody better placed on our team to do that than Steve Bunt. So over to you for a moment, Steve.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Oh, good old Bunsey. Never gets
Someone should splice that clip into the other one where he's talking to, who was it? Chisora. Is it Chisora?
Oh, yes. Yep. Good old Eric. Yeah, we'll maybe play that one as well later on as things move along. Let's get on to our first nomination then. There's a bit of beef going on this week, Andy, between friend of the pod, Billy Nelson, and one-time friend of the pod, Scam Jones. Billy Nelson was drawing attention to somebody. He said, he looks more like you, mate. Receding hair, turkey teeth, fake Rolex. Scam responded, I have beautiful natural teeth because I brush them, which you should try. I don't have a receding hairline because at Get More Hair UK made me look incredible and I don't wear fake Rolexes. Now, please go and chainsaw some of that nose hair, you absolute fart of a human.
I'll tell you what, I by the way. See if we can do it swapping hands between either of they two. I know who my money would be on, by the way.
I think Billy might gas after a few rounds.
No, I tell you, Billy will need one round, mate. I'm telling you.
Wait, who's Sam Jones?
Well, that's a whole other rabbit hole.
Well, we need to go and get the paperwork out, mate, to find out the truth behind that one.
Sam's a PR guru, though. We've seen him in action trying to sell a show on Probellum. Let's watch that right now.
Du, meine Arbeit für richtig hältst. Ob du glaubst, dass ich fleißig gewesen bin, dass ich gearbeitet habe, dass ich nicht in diesen Jahren...
Wait, and he's talking shit to Billy Nelson. Was Ricky Hatton's trainer, right?
Yeah, no, Ricky Burns' trainer.
Ricky, yeah. Well, yeah. This Sam Jones. I don't care if he's got a blue check mark behind his name, but he seems like a tool.
You're a good judge of character, Donald. It's a nomination for Sam and Billy for their back and forward. Sticking it on a Scottish theme, Andy. A friend of the pod, Ryan Deal, is quite handy with the photoshopping. He dropped this one for us.
Steve,
I look like Stephen Hawking.
Tommy looks like Ricky Gravel just shit his pants. And I've just smelled something just farting right next to me.
There's Tommy Senior and Ebbs and Diane.
It's amazing that Ebbs is there because I tell you what, Steve, I cannot get enough of that Ebbs and Gad content from you. That is a fucking great joke.
Anyway, just wave it off. Bellew of the week's over.
I tell you what, he's handy with the photoshops. Is Ryan Deal. That was a good one. But yeah, Rob's mentioning. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's a good lad. Is Ryan. Rob's mentioning the Ebony and Gad content. There was a nomination this week from Michael Shoebobs. I'm not in control. I just do the fighting, says Ebbs, to pitch boxing. Gareth A. Davis talking with the IBF bantamweight champion Ebony Bridges on whether there should have been a women's fight in Saudi Arabia. But as Rob says, I don't know whether we should be talking about Ebbs anymore because we've got to mention this week in the comments from Stig's hairy chest. Bit boring now, this Ebony Gad thing, chaps. Can't you think of new material, for fuck's sake?
I've got a guy working to find out that IP address because I think that's somebody I know, so I'm going to find out who that is.
Hammering out the same old content down with that sort of thing.
Yeah. I've been told though. I've been told the location was last known at an NHS hospital, so it could be.
Yeah. I hope he's all right. He's well enough. He's well enough to text. I hope he's all right. The fella. He's got a family, and he's got a family. I hope he's all right.
Who are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm just speculating. You know?
So was that. I've not got a clue who you're talking about.
Pure speculation. We got a. I don't know if this is a nomination for us, Andy, or for the man himself, but we got a message this week to take down Bellew of the Week episode 476 because we included a promo video. So no promos of promo videos. The Don King Promotions. This was the Spectrum one. Don King Productions has said this is going down in 7 days, whether you like it or not. And the email was sent from donkingdkp@gmail.com. So the Don hasn't even got a proper email, Andy.
Fucking muppet. I love this bit. I love this. This wee bit here, where he actually asks us. What does it say here? Don King Productions Incorporated wants to give you an opportunity to resolve your copyright issue before your video is removed and a copyright strike applied. What was the opportunity that we got?
Nothing. What could you do next? Do nothing.
What we meant to pay him?
Can we ask the listeners to all email this address?
Yeah, we could do.
Yep. Don't send any spam emails to that email address. Whatever you do, donkingdkp@gmail.com.
No, just send some dick pics to it.
Donnie, don't get us sued, you fucking idiot. You of all goddamn people should not fucking say anything of this nature.
What? I didn't tell people to do it. I just suggested that it might be entertaining.
It could entertain a lot of people. Least of which the people in charge of Boxing Asylum and the associated podcast.
Well, they could just sue Ben Wiseman Industries.
Yeah. Tommy Allen Guru Promotions. Ben Wiseman Industries.
Or Cramerica Industries. I think that might be a better shout.
Yeah, I'm a bit touchy about playing videos and stuff now because last Monday we got a strike as well off Kingpin Boxing, so fuck them for playing that video of that little ginger fella and that big fat guy with the belly at some white collar event or something. So they give me a load of grief last Monday and I had to spend all day trimming and clipping to try and get it out of the video because it was taken down. So thank you to them. So we're not going to play this video.
You would think they would be happy for the fucking. The bit of promotion that we gave them. Because folk might even go back and say, okay, I might go and watch that now. Fuck it. This is what's happening. I noticed Tim Boxeo's getting caught out a fair bit as well with his content.
Cheeky bastards. There's people from like Serbia and frigging Tanzania and Botswana trying to sue Tim Boxeo. I mean, who else is going to put this stuff up?
Exactly. Nobody. I mean, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even fucking be aware that these fights were happening. Or you got maybe watch it on fucking Facebook or YouTube for nothing.
Cheeky bastards, man. We stood for last Sunday and laughed for a good 5 minutes at their show, and then they had the cheek on the Monday to try and take us down.
Probably fucking 3 folk watched that card live. We could probably maybe generate more content for them than they would imagine.
Bunch of bastards.
Yeah. So I haven't cut this. You'll be glad to hear for your ears. Is this the best Eddie Hearn impression ever? This is what IFL's been reduced to. Josh Jamesy, Jimmy Toyne, amongst many other people, sent this in. I mean, look, fair play to anybody who wants to do impressions or tell jokes. It's a difficult world out there. Stand-up comedy, you have more respect. But this fella, man, I don't know what he's playing.
Well, you can't play this one?
No, I'm not cutting any this week, Donnie. I've been burned, man. Been burned. Not
but
playing.
Wait, I mean, it's just somebody taking a video at a fight, right?
Well, you think that?
They can't handle the bants, mate. That's the problem. They can't handle the bants.
This is IFL. Put this up. I tell you what, it was interesting this week during IFL. I don't know if anybody else
put this up. All right.
Well, I don't know if anybody else saw this on IFL's YouTube channel this week, Andy. They put up a video saying Oscar De La Hoya getting knocked out, and then they showed the full fight or clips of De La Hoya getting knocked out by Bernard Hopkins. Right, I didn't know IFL were in the business of showing those clips. Are they trolling on behalf of somebody? Why would they put that up?
Is that those wee kind of like YouTube small video takes you can get or whatever it is? It's some sort of feed. It's not.
It was like a wee 5-minute vignette, and it was Oscar De La Hoya getting knocked out for the first time. I just thought it was odd that they put that up because they don't usually put that type of content.
I was to say that would be copyright content as well then.
I wonder where they got it from. They must have had the copyright go ahead. I wonder who sent that.
Top Rank would who was the promoter of that? Was it Top Rank? Was it Oscar
Top
himself?
Rank promoted it. Said Top Rank on the video.
Top Rank are fucking usually on the ball when it comes to the copyrights. I've been bunged a few times off the bastards, so we watch. But then IFL were putting up the Sonny Edwards carry on yesterday as well on their channel. That's how
were they?
desperate that's how desperate they are for content these days.
It's a good move.
It's
It's a good move not playing it on the show, because how bad would it be if the fucking pod's last hurrah was some fella doing a fucking impression of Eddie Hearn? That's what finally got us kicked off the fucking airwaves. Like.
That would be
a big win for Eddie, the first win that Eddie's had this year, possibly.
That would be the ultimate irony, the biggest win against the podcast virgins since this.
I really want to go around and start researching my interviews from 5 years ago, which I think was longer than that, from the Frankie Gavin fight, wasn't it? 4 or 5 years ago. Jesus Christ, get yourself a life. Firstly, oh my God, I found this clip from Hearn 6 years ago. Oh, the forums are going to love this one. Oh, you wait till I tell my mates on the boxing nutters messenger group. Oh, I'm going to be the king. For fuck's sake, get a life.
Shake, rattle, and roll, baby. Absolutely.
He's even did the shoulder roll there as well.
It's class, isn't he? He couldn't bring himself to say it. Good old Eddie. Yeah. Could have been Josh James. Doing that. Could have been Josh James. Who knows? Anyway, let's move on from that, shall we? Nailed on winner for sure, says Scott Robbins for the Ultras podcast. The Ultras podcast said there's this thing called Boxing Twitter where dudes who've never seen the inside of a boxing gym are telling professional boxing coach Ben Davison they know more about boxing than he does. This was an interesting one, actually, because I thought Ultras podcast was supposed to be...
Ben Davison never saw the inside of a boxing. He's a fitness trainer.
Yeah, that's kind of how he got his job, asshole.
Ben Davison was going to do the Matt and DJ Arnaldo route for his fight against fucking Usyk and Joshua. Got to be Margarito, man. Got to put the pressure on him. Got to get those fucking, get on his chest. Get the looping right hands coming over the top. Make him work at a pace he's not used to.
I wouldn't even mind, but Angelo Dundee and Eddie Futch never fought either. So
yeah.
No, that's true. They were just virgins like us.
Probably the only time you'll ever hear Ben Davison's name mentioned with Angelo Dundee and Eddie Futch.
Well, apart from if he's talking, Rob.
Yeah.
Jake Paul tweeted out, Conor Ben dirty because he doesn't want Chris Eubank to have a massive size advantage fight night. No, he just wants a fair, safe fight. Rackman can weigh in any fight night. 200 weigh in, 214, blah, blah, blah. Chris Eubank responded. He said, yo, Jake Paul, once I deal with Ben and take care of Rackman, how about me and you go a couple rounds? I'll come in at 160. You come in at whatever you want. Winner gets Canelo. And don't worry, I ain't no Tommy Fury. If I'm say something, I'm going to do something. I get it done. So there you go. He's making the fights there, Andy. Winner gets Canelo. Thanks for that, Chris.
Fucking hell. Where did he even start with this piss? I said my piece last week about the Eubank Ben situation. It's just everybody's on the grift these days. They're all. It's noticeable that MTK are no longer in the sport these days because obviously there's no content. So this is what we're reduced to, these novelty fights. Fucking calling people out on social media, get the eyes on it, and then hopefully you can make a fucking payday in the end of it. But he ain't fighting Tommy fucking Jake Paul, Chris Eubank. Fuck's sake, man, that's just never happening ever.
We're all begging for that Jake Paul payday, and then he throws Canelo in. And like Canelo is like, okay, I'll fight the winners of you.
I had to laugh at Jake Paul roasting Conor McGregor. Actually, remember he was saying that you're claiming you made $100 million against Floyd, but you're not telling the truth that Dana White took half of it. I'm like, oof, it's a fucking bit of a shot. But he's not fucking fighting these days. And you got Paulie Malignaggi saying that he's on the growth. But if you look at him these days, actually, he's looks fucking
big,
massive, man. He must be on something.
Mm-hmm. He is. Tony Bellew.
There are a few things to hear. Anyway.
Tony Bellew was tweeting out, as usual. Chris Crotty nominated this one. Troy Hawk, Milo Comedy jumped in. He says, Tony, I listened to your audiobook whilst training for a boxing match in February. The sacrifice. The honest self-examination. I then got sparked out in the second round in a nightclub called Envy after windmilling for 5 minutes. But it wasn't your fault. Never stop, never change. Tony. Oh dear.
Well, that's that guy did the welcome for the Man City.
The Man City thing, yeah, I saw that.
It was quite funny that.
It was
Nordic meat shield.
That's right. Yeah, but it's a very cool face.
When is Tony Bellew and honest self-examination never been in the same sentence?
when he said Tony died and became Anthony overnight, born again Christian.
Donny, have you not bought his book? Everybody has a plan until they win a vacant belt. 12 ways to disappear from public life. We published it.
And, he did have that moment of introspection where he realized how fat he was, and he was going to the barbecue for beer and shit.
Oh yeah.
Aye, the meltdown on Twitter about it.
He's doing the burpees and all on Insta, wasn't it?
Disgusted with myself.
Fat bastard.
He gave into the bread, didn't he? He gave into the bread. Like all the greats.
Goddamn gluten.
Exactly. I don't know where you even start with this one, boys. Rick Glazer this week.
Oh no.
Rick Glazer. Someone set up about 6 imposter accounts, but also geniusly, I think they actually hacked the real account as well. They just created complete havoc, complete destruction, Andy. Glazer. Absolute car crash.
I've never really followed it. I just seen him kicking off something crazy. I didn't get a chance to follow it, mate, because I got back into work last week and it was like chaos. So I couldn't follow this chaos on Twitter. Tell me what happened. So they've hacked his account and started just going absolutely crazy with it.
Yeah, someone hacked his account, so that was bad enough. But then they set up like loads of other fake accounts. So Twitter couldn't understand who the real one was. So he was sending DMs off the real account to people, screenshotting them. Then whoever it was set up a fake Twitter support account and threw that into the mix as well. Glazer was desperately trying to tell everybody that he was the real account, but because there was like dodgy stuff coming off it, you didn't really know whether it was him or not.
I'm telling you right now, mate, Rick Glazer International Boxing PLC clearly doesn't have a 2-step verification on his Twitter account. Rookie mistake. What a fucking muppet.
Say those DMs were interesting, whoever hacked in there.
There's a whole new meaning slipping into DMs, that one, I bet you, by the way. I bet there's some fucking sleaze and sleekiness on that fucking DMs.
Oh, it's been brilliant all week. Good old Rick. Also, yeah, on a normal week, I would have played this one, but Juice picked this up off Instagram. God. Demetrius Andrade, Rob, calling out Eubank, was it, for $1 million? Winner gets Canelo, maybe.
I had a bit of set to a guy on Twitter today, actually, about Andrade. Holy fuck.
What the actual fuck was going on in that video? Like, this is the world we're living in, right? Seriously, look at the landscape. When you talk about boxing being devoid of stars, there's about 3 stars and about 150 imposters. Like, Eubank is calling out Jake Paul. Like, all the boxers pandering to Jake Paul is sickening. And I'm not saying like some fucking, I understand business, like, and I know the networks look at the numbers and they all want a piece of Jake Paul. But like the pandering from the fighters to Jake Paul's fucking boxing career is a joke at this stage. And one of these legit guys is going to end up in a fight with him very soon, like, because they're dying to get paid. Like, and then you got fucking Boo Boo, who's on a side of a street somewhere, out like I am now, right? And he's making a call out video essentially to Chris Eubank, wagering $1 million. But he keeps saying, what really cracked me up when I was watching it was Boo Boo's, and he appears to be. Well, I don't know if he talks like that or not, but he sounded drunk to me. I'm fucking Irish. I know drunk when I fucking hear one. And he sounded like he was on something anyway. And he said,
he's pissed, Rob, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, come on, Chris. You know, the whole world is looking for this. Luxembourg, Netherlands, Japan. And I'm like, he sounded like fucking Chappelle when he was doing the Black Bush skit. He was like, we got the coalition of the willing. We got Stankonia is willing to drop bombs over Baghdad.
I thought it was LL Cool J was going to get in there.
Tokyo was sending PlayStation.
What is going on, Boo Boo?
You can tell he's drunk. Look at his eyes, man. Like, oh, droopy in that.
Even Eddie couldn't sell you fucking Andrade. Now that'll tell you, right? Even Eddie couldn't fucking make it happen for Andrade.
I can actually see from this photo he's clearly on the east side of Providence, which is his home, and which was my home for many years.
That's you in the background with a burrito. If you zoom in there,
he bought a cameraman with him on the way home from the pub, Donny.
Oh no! I mean, look at the hair. I mean, like the guy looks like he's seen better days.
Look at the eyes.
He loves the drink, doesn't he? He loves the drink apparently.
Mm-hmm. Eyes never lie, mate.
Whatever happened?
So says Jason Chukwu.
Remember when he was supposed to be joining like who was the rapper that was starting was it 50 Cent that was starting a promotional company?
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave Billy Div a bunch of money. What a fucking idiot.
Yeah, and then he was supposed to be joining that, and like. He's supposed to be getting a bunch of money from them. I mean, like,
thank God, Boa didn't he?
I mean, could Demetrius Andrade, I mean, if I was him, what is he, like 34, 35 years old? Dude, take a fucking pay cut and fight somebody and go try to make a legacy for yourself. I mean, what a pathetic waste of talent. I mean, this guy was. I mean, he was good. You know, he was a medal favorite.
Charlo back in the day, though.
What?
He ducked Charlo back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, there was a lot of allegations.
50-50 for Cotto as well. The nerve of this guy.
He's thick though, Donny, because he spent all that time trying to get out of the contract with Star or Banner, whoever, and he signed with Salita now, apparently.
Aye.
I don't know.
He loves giving away his money.
He regrets turning down those money fights.
If you want to talk about an epic waste of talent, though, I mean, this guy is it. I mean, I saw him fight when he was an amateur because he was from my area. You know, I mean, he was excellent. He was the medal favorite. I think he lost in like the first round of the Olympics of like maybe of a controversial decision or whatever. And then like, I mean, but he was supposed to be a big star. He was supposed to be somebody. And he just wasted it all. And it's not like he did anything wrong necessarily. It's not like he went out and did.
He just didn't do anything right.
Yeah, exactly. He just didn't do anything. I mean, it was such a waste. It's a shame.
He talked about it in an interview recently.
Why the fuck was Luxembourg the first country he said? By the way, is he big in Luxembourg, Bobo Andrade?
He talked about it in an interview recently, and he said, "It was very intriguing, very intriguing."
Because intriguing is his fucking fights.
He's off his head, old Andre. Yeah, he's been nominated anyway. We'll move on. Better Q has nominated the Gaffer. The Gaffer 12 has a reason why DAZN is failing. DAZN was let down by the public, he says. If more people subscribed, it could do so much more for fight fans. So it's our fault, not yours, Matty. It's not your fault.
I'm actually subscribed, so fuck you, assholes. Get a subscription.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our fault for not subscribing.
If I lose my $10 a month being able to watch Diego box, I'm going to be irritated.
What was I heard during the week? So if you get the Josh, what was the pay-per-view again? Is it Canelo Golovkin in the UK? If you're a subscriber, you get it for X amount, but if you're a non-subscriber, you got to pay extra to get it the pay-per-view.
$16.99 if you're a subscriber, wasn't it, or something like that? I think
they can sook on my fucking whistle for that. By the way,
I got to watch Usyk versus Joshua for free. With my subscription, so that's cool.
You won't, because it's on Sky Sports.
No, it's on Sky in the UK and it's on DAZN in the States. Suck that nut.
Pay-per-view's dead, Matty. I heard from a good source.
I have heard that confirmed.
Right, let's move on. Nang 2942 has nominated Box Story, Rack Noble. He's a nomination all of himself, that fella. It's a bit pedantic, this one, but I thought it was quite funny. He put up a thread giving 10 examples of the WBA showing complete incompetence. We can get on board with that one, definitely, Andy. Number 10, no surprise that a sanctioning body is taking brides to give fighters better...
The WBA, you say? The WBA? In all my life, I never thought I would hear.
Rather than brides, just taking brides.
Steve, I tweeted an article for Box Illustrated a couple of weeks back, or maybe last week, about the WBA. It was like, no business like WBA, no business Jimmy Pinstripes, taking all that bread off his fighters. If you didn't pay Jimmy Pinstripes, then he didn't appear in the fucking rankings.
I hope this story proves to be true, because other than that, they're damaging the good reputation of the WBA there.
Especially taking brides in the Philippines, no less. There you go. Shady WBA. We'll get off that subject. Sky Sports, Caroline Dubois has come up the hard way. David has nominated this, though. Caroline said, we walked into the gym and it was a boys-only club, so we knew beforehand what we had to say. And I said my name was Colin, and they just believed it. Sounds like the old Porky story, Andy, of Colin.
That she looked quite butch as a youngster, really. She passed herself off as a man, you know.
Oh, Colin Dubois. It could have been written by this fella.
I'm not
what to
say much, but what age did she walk into the gym? Because you know what I'm saying. If she was a developing female, I think it would be a wee bit noticeable. You know what I'm saying?
Developing fast. Isaac Warrior Lowe has been nominated by Mikey Thompson, who's in the chat tonight. Isaac sent out a tweet. He says, "Chilling time. Can't leave me slip at home. Got come with me, lol." All right then, Isaac.
So he's saying that I think he's full to the brim and he said we get some release here. I think that's what he's talking about.
Oh dear. And James Becker's nominated this one. What have we got here? Nicola Adams. Can't believe it. It's official. Me and Ella Baig, our parents now. Can't wait to get you home, little one. It's a lovely story. I don't know why James Becker's nominated that for. Congratulations to Victoria and Ella Baig. for the birth of their youngster. And finally, here we are. This is the one everyone's been talking about and tweeting about this week. A world champion versus a man who's never boxed before, streamed live on Instagram. Who dares say boxing is an unserious sport? Has anyone been following this? This fella going down to fight Sonny Edwards, I think it was.
I don't know what happened on Twitter, mate, but I only seen clips, to be honest with you, and then other folk were mentioning it, so I don't know if the guy's been trolling him or just been a bit of banter back and forth between the two, but your man's basically turning up at Sonny Edwards' gym saying, right, I'm ready to go, let's fucking go. But I'm thinking to myself, if a guy's going to turn up at a gym to fight a pro fighter, I'm thinking he's going to have a wee bit of training about him. But this motherfucker had the box once and he's fucking puff. Didn't know how to throw a punch.
He's just like, I could 112-pound fighter who's really knocked out nobody. Fuck him. What's he gonna do?
I had a look at your man's. Had a look at your man's Twitter after someone retweeted it or something, but I think he's very much in the same spectrum as Charlie Zelenov and fucking the homeboy that was fighting with Parky. I don't
or
think
an attention seeker or something going on there.
Yeah, no, I think it's a little bit. Yeah, I think he's more kind of Prince Michael territory now. More than anything else, you know that way. So yeah. Somewhere, but judging by what the fuck he was saying, well, maybe that's because Sonny Edwards poked the fucking head off him and he just came and started talking crazy shit. But I think the signs are there. Like that's what I don't want to get too fucking serious, but I'd be wary of boxers doing shit like this. I know Wilder hit fucking Zelenov, like, but say what the fuck happens to Zelenov? Like they go on, you know what I mean? People who have like very volatile fucking mental states, like in your fight, you know, you're fighting them in public and that, like.
The board could take issue with that as well, possibly.
Didn't Floyd Senior light Zelenov up too?
Yeah, he knocked him out of the ring. Yeah, Floyd Senior beat up Zelenov as well. Remember that?
And then he turned his back, and then he fucking came at him.
Well, people are always saying that these YouTube fights and these TikTok fights are dangerous, and someone's going to get hurt. What about these going down to the gym to fight pro boxers fights? Is someone going to get hurt in one of them?
Someone's going to get hurt for that.
This is what I'm saying. You're dicing a fucking very wary thing here because at the end of the day, see these pro gyms need to be licensed as well. I'm sure. Or even the trainer has got to be licensed with the board.
Andy, you make an interesting point actually. Amongst all of that, many years ago, a friend of mine, Big Nicky Fullerton, shout out to him. He listens to the pod occasionally. He did a charity boxing thing in one of the hotels in Belfast. And literally, I mean, he was dancing around the ring with a few professionals. You had Jamie Conlon was there, Martin Lindsay, Frampton, I think maybe, Big Rogie, Eamon McGee, blah, blah, blah. And someone from the British board turned up on the night, one of the local Northern Ireland representatives. And at the beginning, there was a whole big fuss. He was trying to get it stopped because there were so many British license holders there. And whether it was classed as a proper fight, I mean, it clearly wasn't a proper fight. I mean, Nicky will tell you that himself. But he was saying, well, hang on, is there punches going to be thrown here? We could maybe stop this. And there was the danger of the event not going ahead. And it got smoothed over. They saw Nicky in action. They realised that no one was going to get hurt. But like you say, Andy, the board was ready to kibosh that.
I remember 15 years ago being in the gym, right? And this woman brought on her son. And he looked about 8 or 9 at the time. And they'd asked him, you know, can he train here? And he says, this is a pro gym, pal. You can't train in here. I think there's something to do with the licensing. There's got to be certain criteria, probably enhanced disclosures because you're working with children and that as well. So they had to push him out, really. So I just think you've got to be kind of wary of this because, as I says, you know, remember before the Flintoff got licensed, he had to go in front of the board and actually have a live sparring session in front of board members before he could get a license to show.
And they still passed him after that. The standards must be pretty low then.
Exactly. So again, all you need is an arsehole on the board just to get fucking funny with you, and you're like, well, I'm going to take this all the way, get these cunts fucking suspended. So you just got to watch. And as you say Sonny did hurt that boy, and maybe he walked out the ring, he was fine. But say later on during the day he takes a fucking brain bleed or something like that, something undiagnosed, he just didn't know about, and the guy drops fucking dead. He's got your answer for that, you know. It's worth the
There has to be some recognition of don't start shit, won't be shit in the law.
Of course.
I'm so against people going and thinking they're bad, getting proved they're not bad, and then thinking they have some legal recourse. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like, keep your fucking mouth shut. And if you don't want to keep your mouth shut, don't go to a public place where you're going to have to offer up to back up your words. It's pretty simple. And if you do, and you get your ass kicked, it happens. There was, Donnie, do you remember that show that they used to have on MTV, Bully Beatdown, where they'd get a bully into the ring with an MMA fighter?
Yes.
And I thought it was a really interesting way to do it. Like they just get like someone that was getting like bullied, like like obviously they had the people that were bullying them had to be over the age of 18 because otherwise they couldn't go and get their ass kicked. And they put him in with an MMA fighter for 1 round of stand up and 1 round of grappling. And it was a couple of times, the bully actually got the better of the MMA guy. It was a rare occasion. But I just think it's a good idea. Like, I think there should definitely be an avenue for people who are running their mouth to get it shut up in front of people. I think it's perfectly fine.
No, I think what you're saying, Matty, is right and all, but I just wonder, well, everyone's moaning about YouTube and they're moaning about TikTok and they're moaning about this, that, and the other. What the ramifications would be, indeed, if someone come down and, God forbid, someone did get hurt against a boxer in a gym with a license. I'm not trying to take this seriously. It's the Bellew of the week, but I'm just wondering. Be interesting, wouldn't it? The ramifications of that if something were to happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that, but I mean, I think don't gyms usually have waivers and shit like that? I mean, in other ways, I mean, there's insurance when you get to events and stuff. I mean, there's avenues of protection, avenues of acceptance, and avenues of liability. And
I wouldn't even chance it, mate. I would not. I mean, listen, look, I'm not trying to bag on Sonny, right? As Des says in the chat, he's bang on. He's driving the car on his phone, sending messages. I believe his kids were in the car at the same time, heading into a sparring session against some sort of halfwit who could have been tooled up for all he knew. And he's trying to get a unification fight with Julio Cesar Martinez. You could end up fucking up his own money to get involved with some sort of Twitter beef. Just fucking let it ride, man. You're fucking meant to be above this cunt. I know it's all about, try to issue receipts from people and maybe teach a wee bit of respect, but at the end of the day, you're running a fucking fine line at the end of the day because you kill that guy. Remember, you're a trained fighter, and if you've heard it before, if you go to court, your fists are basically classed as weapons because you know how to use them.
Yeah, well, but it's going to be
a severe risk. Like,
there's a reason why we're talking hypotheticals here, and I think we should move on. But I mean, the point is that in the gym, guys use 16-ounce, gloves. They wear headgear or whatever.
Not always.
And all right, yeah, Tyson didn't wear headgear in the gym. We know that because Cuss was paranoid and he thought that if you didn't, if you fought with headgear on, that you would get a false sense of security and would take shots when you shouldn't take them. But that's I mean, maybe some gyms still operate like that, but in general, you try to keep your fighter from getting cut. So they wear heavy headgear, they wear big pillow gloves or whatever. Nobody's going to die in the gym. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I mean, in theory it could happen, but in all likelihood, it's not going to happen. So,
do you think they wear headgear at the dog pound?
Well, not when you're there. They just wear.
What happened to Nick Blackwell again? What happened to that gym after he got injured after that sparring session after the Eubank fiasco? Because he went back in the ring for a sparring session.
Yeah, well, that's honestly that's the only example I could think of. I was just going to say that. Other than that, I just can't think of one.
I think to draw a line under this and move on in Bellew of the week, I think that one of the wider things is what Des touched upon as well. It's got to a point now where social media is life for people, and sometimes you just got to consider ignoring, or it is an option to turn the thing off. It is an option to turn social media off, and you don't have to listen to everybody. I'm not saying that with Sonny Edwards, just in general. There's an option to just log out and forget about it. It ain't your life. Get out in the real world.
I mean, I don't know what set it off, to be honest with you. But as I say, knowing Sonny as I'm doing that, he's not going to take any shit off anybody. He's just going to clap back until he wins, basically. So
yeah. Right, let's move on. So Ryan Deal sent us another one. Here's Bill Cream Ben. There you are, Matty, getting his hair done in the Bill Cream, the barber shop. He's good with the old Photoshop.
That's a really fantastic Photoshop. You got to give credit where it's due right there. That caught me off guard. I had to lean in a bit on that one.
I'm telling you, man, you just need to hit the exits. Look for the exits.
And he's wearing a thing for Brill Cream. I mean, I feel like I'm with Don Draper and Roger Sterling over here.
Talking of barbers, I'm sure I've told this story on the podcast before, but I remember many years ago when going into barbers in Belfast, and the fellow was a bit of a fight fan. He had Marciano on the wall, and I got talking to him. Says, "Oh, you're a bit of a fight fan, then, aren't you?" And he went, "Yeah." He goes, "I love the old fighters." And he says, "What about Nigel Benn? He used to call himself the Black Bomber. He wouldn't be able to get away with that these days." And I'm thinking, Nigel Benn, the Black Bomber. That wasn't his nickname. I think he's getting mixed up with Joe Lewis, the Brown Bomber. But I didn't want to pull him up on it, the old Barber, Andy. But a few mistruths being told over the scissors.
The Dark Destroyer, eh?
The Black Bomber was in no way related to the terror attacks.
I just dropped her. Oh, right, yeah. Anyway, Matty, you've uploaded something into the chat.
Did they ever tell you the one about the
screen?
fucking? Did they ever tell you one about the barber? She cut the eyebrows off. No.
Off air, you told us, yeah.
I tell yourself, yeah, it was classic. That one.
Anyway, Matty, if you can still hear me, do you want me to put this up on the screen? You can tell us what you've added here.
Yeah, this one right here. This was the hairstyle last night. I believe this was the hair of where do I got that written down? I think that was Pacino Hill last night on the Top Rank card. And I don't know what the hell's going on with his hair, but my only hunch on how he came up with this style is he had a friend that went to him. He's like, you know, man, I got 2 hands, I got my tongue, and I got my junk. I just don't know how I can handle more women at the same time. And Pacino was like, I got you, fam. I don't know.
That hair looks like they'd be green aliens out of Toy Story, actually. Looks awful.
Makes him look like a bit of a dickhead.
Oh, dear. Oh, good stuff, Matthew. Good stuff indeed. Any other nominations for you, Matty, before we move on?
No, that's my nomination for the week.
And that is a good one. That's a solid one. Andy, any from you, please?
I sent you a couple, mate, but it was a bit violence related. I know we're kind of
I didn't put them up.
So yeah, I mean, I've not really got. I've not really kind of kept an eye on things this week, to be honest with you. But I've not really got much to hand, mate.
We can't post clips. We can't continue the War Machine series. What's the fucking point?
I know. We might as well just give up in episode 500. Maybe Donnie will be with us in episode 500, though. Do you have any nominations for this one? Episode 484, Belly of the Weeks, Donald?
Well, we're only 16 away, aren't we?
We are.
That's math.
Sweet 16.
And then October 14th of this year will mark 10 years.
There you go.
11, I think, maybe. Was it?
No, it was 2012 it started.
2011, I think the video started going up on YouTube, and then the podcast started in 2012. Is that the timeline?
October 14th, 2012 is episode 1.
Right, yeah, because Kurt put a load of videos up beforehand because they still get views to this day. Things like Mayweather, Ortiz, Ring Life.
You can still find the early ones on Tumblr. They're still there.
Yeah, the first episode is on YouTube, but after that it goes a bit dry till about 60, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I'm surprised it's still on Tumblr because they got rid of all the porn there and our content. You know, it's just as addictive and twice as sexy.
Yeah, come up from a guy who's done it, you know.
Come on.
Co-signed.
Co-sign. Right, Donnie, any nominations, please?
No, sir.
Nothing from Donnie. Rob, anything from you, please?
Yeah, mine was Boo Boo, obviously, and Carl Frampton, who hosted a night in Belfast with guest Michael Francis, the mafia, ex-mafia mob leader. So Frampton doing wonders to damage, to fucking put out the rumours that he associates with mob bosses at all. They were in Belfast last night. Yeah, all the boys were down as well. Tommy Mack and Paddy Barnes, the usual Belfast suspects down, checking out a bit of Michael Francis. I like a bit of that myself, actually.
I like Francis, actually, but he says he can't understand the Scouse or the Irish accent, so I wonder how that went down last night.
Up in fucking Belfast. Fuck's sake.
I know. Jesus.
Okay, thanks very much, Rob. Let's go through them again before we make our picks for 484. Quite a strong week this week without any videos as well. First of all, we had Billy Nelson and Scam Jones going in on it. We had Ryan Deal's fantastic train spotting Photoshop. Got another Photoshop from Ryan Deal coming up shortly. Stay tuned for that. We had the Ebbs, Stig's hairy chest there going in on Ebbs as well. We had Don King at Gmail going in on us, trying to get us banned and censored. Josh Jamesy doing his Eddie Hearn impression. Fantastic that it was. Ultras podcast getting nominated by Scott Robbins. Chris Eubank offering up Canelo, as you do, if he beats Jake Paul. Tony Bellew and Troy Hawk got thrown in as well. Rick Glazer for his antics. Demetrius Andrade for his. The Gaffer. We got Rack Noble. WBA offering brides. Colin Dubois got a nomination as well. So did Isak Lowe. Ebbs. And this is Nicola Adams, rather. And her wife. Congrats to them. The fellow and Sonny Edwards going at it. Bill Creamben. Pacino Hill as well. Who you got then out of that motley crew, Andy?
I'm going to go for Andrade, mate. Just because he's filming at everything just now. He needs a win. So I think this will do his confidence a wee bit good. Maybe get him off the bottle as well a wee bit. So I'll go for Andrade.
Yeah, that's so brave, old Demetrius. He's got the first nomination. Matty, who are you going for?
Steve, I'm a little torn between Pacino Hill and his very intriguing hair, and the guy who thought he could go in and challenge a flyweight and pick on him. Man, that's a rough one. Well, let's go with Pacino Hill and the hair. Let's go with the hair.
Well, it's a hair theme. Then we've got Pacino Hill first of all, and then we've got Demetrius Andrade, who likes a haircut himself. I am going for Donny. I'm going for Rick Glazer. I think he's
I forgot about that one.
I think he's
You change your vote, Andy?
I think I could actually. I could be persuaded. And it wouldn't take much actually to persuade me in this one.
I would not be surprised, Andy, if that turned out to be not a real person. I mean, what has he ever done in boxing to prove that he is actually a real boxer? This could have been a troll account all the time.
Mate, he actually posted up a picture of himself on the phone doing business stuff, doing boxing.
How do we know
business.
that was him?
We don't know, mate. We just got to take a word for it at the end of the day.
Wait. Didn't we communicate with him via this account in order to get him on our show?
Rick Glazer? Was he on here?
Yeah, I'm sure he was on this podcast. I'm sure he was.
Maddie talked to him.
I did?
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to find that, Matt.
Oh, that was fucking thousands of brain cells ago.
Yeah, that was about 9 years ago, but we did have
about 1,000 grams ago, Matty.
Head down the rabbit hole like Alice there, Matty.
Yeah.
Telling you, fuck me.
Yeah, we totally did have him on. You got to look it up.
Are you going for him, Donny, or are you going for somebody else?
Glazer is good, and what was it? What was the other one that somebody voted for?
Andy went for Andrade.
Andrade.
Yeah,
Andrade, honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I gotta vote for the train spotting. I thought that was great. I laughed at that so hard, man. That was unbelievable. And by the way, wait, who's number 2 there? Who's the chick that's in there?
That's Ebony Bridges.
Oh, that's Ebony Bridges.
She's a world champion.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, but it didn't.
She does a great bit with the guard, actually, doesn't she, Steve?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, with Tommy's dad in there too.
Tommy's dad is just so fucking random. Jesus
Christ.
Oh,
dude, that's fucking great.
Has anyone sent this to Tommy yet?
He's probably seen it. He's probably seen it.
It's toe curlingly good.
So if Andy doesn't change his pick, that means that Rob has the hammer with 4 options on the table.
Go on, Rob.
Yeah, that's gotta be the winner. I don't even know how everybody didn't pick this.
We've seen this before. Go on, Rob. What are you going for?
Oh, look, it has to be Boo Boo, because not just for the call-out video. The call-out video in principle is random enough, because it's Eubank Jr. He's chasing for the payday. But the fact that he says, "Come on, man, the people want to see this." Luxembourg. What the fuck has Luxembourg got to do with this fight, man? Why are they all sitting on the edge of their seat in Luxembourg?
Luxembourg Commission, maybe, Rob.
Luxembourg, Netherlands, Japan,
the only relevance that Luxembourg's ever had in boxing is when they licensed Derek Chisora to fight David Haye.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Luxembourg Commission, man.
I think it's a good reminder of how good public television was when we were young and growing up, because you had shows like Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, where somebody could learn world geography and put it into useful context.
Uncle Fraggle off the Fraggle Rock. You know what I mean?
You going for old Teddy Ruxpin then, Rob? Old Demetrius Andrade?
It's got to be Boo Boo.
Congratulations, Boo Boo. You're the Bellew of the Week winner for episode 484. And before we go, another shout out to the Doctor himself. Don't forget, Doctor's dropping tomorrow. Here we are, the Phantom of the Opera. That was Ryan Deal again.